At exactly 6:17 on a cold Friday evening, Emily Carter heard someone knocking on her front door. She wasn't expecting anyone. Her husband, Sergeant Daniel Carter, was still supposed to be overseas. At least, that's what she believed. Emily wiped her hands on a kitchen towel and walked toward the door. Before she opened it, her 6-year-old son, Noah, came running down the hallway. "Mommy, is it Dad?" Emily smiled sadly. "No, buddy. Dad's still away." Noah's smile disappeared. He looked down at the little paper airplane he was holding. He had made it for his father. Another one. He had been making one every night for almost a year. Emily reached for the doorknob. Then the knocking stopped. She opened the door. Nobody was there. Only a small cardboard box sat on the porch. Emily looked around the quiet neighborhood. Nothing. She picked up the box. There was no return address. Only 3 words written across the top. For Noah. Dad. Emily froze. Her heart started pounding. Daniel had been gone for 11 months. The last message she'd received from him was 3 days earlier. "I love you. Tell Noah I'll call him this weekend." Emily slowly carried the box inside. Noah stood behind her. "Is it from Daddy?" Emily nodded. They opened it together. Inside was a small wooden frame, and inside that frame was a photograph. It showed Noah sleeping beside the window. Emily stared at the picture. She had never sent Daniel that photograph. Then she noticed something behind the picture. A folded letter. Her hands began to shake. She opened it. "Emily, if you're reading this, everything went according to plan. Please don't be angry. I wanted to come home differently this time." Emily stopped reading. Her eyes filled with tears. Noah looked up at her. "What does it say?" Emily couldn't answer. Then she heard something. A sound coming from the backyard. A faint metallic click. She turned toward the window. There was a shadow outside. Emily's heart nearly stopped. She grabbed Noah and pulled him close. The shadow moved. A man stepped into the light. He was wearing a dark jacket. Emily couldn't see his face. Then he slowly removed his cap and looked toward the window. Emily covered her mouth. "No." Noah looked through the glass. For a moment, he said nothing. Then his eyes widened. "Mom," Emily whispered. "What?" Noah pointed at the backyard. "That's Daddy." Emily turned, and there he was, Daniel, standing only a few yards away, alive, home. Emily ran outside. Daniel barely had time to open his arms before she crashed into him. She started crying, not the quiet kind of crying, the kind that comes after 11 months of pretending you're strong. Daniel held her tightly. "I missed you," he whispered. Emily pulled away and touched his face. "You lied to me." "I know." "You told me you had 3 more weeks." "I know. You scared me." Daniel smiled through his tears. "I wanted to surprise you." Then Noah came running. Daniel dropped to his knees. Noah stopped just inches away from him. He didn't move. He stared at his father as if he was afraid the moment would disappear. Daniel opened his arms. "Come here, buddy." Noah ran straight into him. Daniel held his son so tightly that his eyes closed. "I thought you weren't coming home yet," Noah cried. Daniel kissed the top of his head. "I couldn't wait anymore." For several minutes, nobody said anything. They just held each other. But Emily noticed something strange. Daniel kept looking toward the little paper airplane in Noah's hand. Noah finally pulled it out of his pocket. "I made this one for you today." Daniel took it carefully. Then he turned it over. There was something written on the inside. "For Dad, so he can find his way home." Daniel's eyes filled with tears. He looked at Emily. "That was the reason." "The reason for what?" Daniel reached into his jacket. He pulled out 11 tiny photographs, one for every month he'd been gone. Each photograph showed one of Noah's paper airplanes. Emily stared at them. "You kept all of them?" Daniel nodded. "You sent me pictures every time you made one." Emily smiled through her tears. "I thought you were just saving them." Daniel shook his head. "I wasn't saving them." He looked at Noah. "I was counting them." Emily looked confused. "Counting them for what?" Daniel took a breath. Every airplane meant one more month closer to home. He looked down at his son. "And today, I finally got to catch the last one." Noah hugged him again. But there was one more thing Emily didn't know. Daniel had not come home simply because his deployment ended. He had been given a choice. He could take an earlier flight home, or wait 3 more weeks for the official family homecoming ceremony. He chose the earlier flight, because 3 weeks was too long. That night, Emily put the wooden frame on the living room shelf. The photograph of Noah sleeping beside the window was still inside. She looked at Daniel. "Where did you even get that picture?" Daniel smiled. "I didn't." Emily frowned. "Then who took it?" Daniel pointed toward Noah. "Noah did." Emily looked at her son. Noah smiled proudly. "I took it with Mommy's phone." Emily laughed. Then she realized something. She looked at the photograph again. In the reflection of the bedroom window, there was a tiny American flag sitting on Noah's desk, the same flag Daniel had given him before leaving. Emily smiled. 11 months, 11 paper airplanes, 11 photographs, and one final surprise. Daniel looked at his family and whispered, "I missed home." Emily held his hand. "You're home now." And for the first time in almost a year, Daniel didn't have to say goodbye. Because this time, the door wasn't closing behind him. It was finally opening for him.